Good evening. My name is Gustavo Martinez, and I will be your speaker for the time being. Now, who here has ever had a sports injury before? You? Oh man, that's a bummer. Well, now I'll be showing you a method that can help any sports injury, known as the Rice method. Now, in learning the Rice method, you will not only be able to assess any sports injury that you may receive, but you will also be able to prevent most sports injuries from occurring later on in life. Now, why you should all believe me is because, well, let's see. I passed medical court, I have job shadowed at a hospital, and to top it all off, I'm a certified first responder. Woo! Now, the Rice method, in a simple sense, is rest, ice, compress, and elevate. Now, resting is the first stage, and rest deals with the general muscle group. What it basically does is it prevents tension on the injury. For instance, say I sprain my ankle right here. Ooh, ow, yeah. Well, what you should do is you should prevent yourself from doing any tiring tasks, such as walking. I should obviously avoid walking for a while until the injury becomes better, so that way my muscles won't uh, receive so much tension. Now, without tension, my muscles will be at ease. Easing into our next stage is icing. Icing is the second stage of the Rice method and minimalizes any swelling and pain that may occur. Now, icing is fairly simple. All you do is find some ice and ice where the swelling is. Now, be careful though. You do not want to ice directly on your skin. What you want to do is you want to put the ice in a rag or a cup or even in a glove. Now, what you do is you find the injury where the swelling may occur, and you put the ice on it directly on the injury. Now, with the icing, you want to do it for 20 minutes every 4 hours. So you do it at 20-minute intervals every 4 hours. Now, what the icing does is it somewhat shrinks the swelling, but for the most part, it just numbs the pain that you may receive. Now, warning, the ice will make you cold. Cold. Compression is the third stage of Rice and deals with the further decrease of swelling. Now, what you want to do is you want to grab a bandage or anything that may compress the swelling and firmly wrap it around the swelling. What this does is it obviously puts a barrier around the injury so that swelling can no longer increase. It'll stay where it's at, and over time it'll start to decrease. You don't want to put the bandage too tight though, because then it'll cut off blood circulation. Now when you wrap the bandage around, it'll prevent the swelling from getting bigger and larger and higher. And so you might even say it's elevating. Elevating is the fourth stage of the Rice method, and basically what it is you find where the swelling is and you elevate it above your heart. Now you can either be sitting down or laying down. Either way, it doesn't matter as long as the swelling is above your heart level. Now basically this works like gravity. For instance, say I have a water bottle and I put the water bottle upside down. Now gravity forces the water to fall to the bottom. So just like the swelling, when you raise the swelling high, the edema from the injury will start to flow downwards, thus the swelling will decrease and possibly even just disappear. Now to review the Rice method with you all, rest deals with the general muscle group and allows tension to ease. Ice numbs all pain that you may receive. So basically, if you're a crybaby and you're unable to handle the pain, you definitely want to ice. Compression prevents the swelling from increasing, and then elevation allows the swelling to either decrease by a lot or even disappear. Now, with this knowledge, you will all be able to go out into the world and help anyone that you see who may get a sports injury. For instance, say Vanessa so happens to see Professor Villalobos and she's filled with hatred. I don't know why, he's a great guy, but she has something against him, I don't know. So she runs over behind him and tries to trip him. Ooh. She misses because she's uncoordinated from her surfing accident, and she twists her ankle. Ah. So she falls to the ground and she's unable to stand up. What you all have the knowledge to do is you can all go over to her and assess her injury directly. Now, it won't help her, obviously, right off the bat, but it will help her in the long run. So with this knowledge of being able to help people, and including yourself, I hope you all have a great life.